Hey everybody, welcome back to The Loop, where our goal is to know Jesus a little better so that we can live like Him a little more. Today I want to look specifically at how Jesus thinks, because the way that He thinks is often very different than the way most of us think. In Mark chapter 13, verses 1 and 2, we read this: As Jesus was leaving the temple, one of His disciples said to Him, "Look, teacher, what massive stones, what magnificent buildings." "Do you see all these buildings?" replied Jesus. "Not one stone here will be left on another. Every one of them will be thrown down." Now, I read that and I think that most of us are like this disciple. We aren't just living in the world. We have become fascinated with the things in our world. We're fascinated with the things that we can build or the things that we can buy. We're fascinated with the kingdoms that we can create. We're fascinated with the places that we can go. But Jesus doesn't just look at this world for the way that it is. He looks at the world for what it will one day be. Jesus knows that it may look impressive now, but He also knows that it won't be impressive for long. And so He says gently to this disciple, don't be too impressed by what you see, because that magnificent building will one day be turned into a magnificent pile of rubble. See, when you think the way Jesus thinks, it will start to change the way you live. It was this perspective that Jesus had that drove Him to say things like this. Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 and 20, Jesus said, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal." This single mindset will affect the way we invest in both earthly things, and it will affect the way that we invest in eternal things. Everything on this earth will eventually die, decay, or be destroyed. Jesus knows this, and it's that perspective that helps Him place an appropriate value on everything in this world. When you find yourself being consumed with houses and cars or boats, when you find yourself always thinking about all the places that you want to go, the things that you want to create, or the business that you want to build, pause and think the way Jesus thinks. Jesus is not just thinking about the way things are or the way things could be. He lives all of His life with an awareness of what they will ultimately be. And so let me encourage you to think like that. Now that you know Jesus a little better, my hope is that you can live like Him a little more.